this is the outside of where we are meeting today. This is the inside. You know, it looks exactly like that, where we're meeting today. But this is a very important debate that we're going to be having this day about what to do.
Thank you for not bending the papers.
What to do about that tea that is out in the harbor on 3 ships. So I'm going to just divide you guys right down the middle, if you wouldn't mind coming on this side and this side. For today's debate purposes, we're going to have this side of our tent will be loyalists. That means you are all, just for pretends today, you are loyal to the British Crown. You are loyal to England. On this side, you are patriots. So you view these taxes as very bad. Now, one moment, kind sirs. At today's debate, we will ask everyone to be very kind. However, if you hear something that you agree with, rather than saying yay or clapping, you will take your fist, or even instead of saying here, here, you will take your fist and you will punch it in the air and you will say, huzzah! Everyone try that with me. Huzzah! A little louder, please. Huzzah! There we go. Now, if you hear something that you do not agree with, you will take your fist and you will pound it towards the ground and you will say, bye. Everyone try that now. All right. We are prepared for our debate today.
Okay. We began in 1764. The Parliament, desiring revenue, money from the American colonies, passed the first law
Gotta pay for that 7 years war, folks. Come on, pay up.
raising colonial money for the crown.
Huzzah! God save the Queen!
Was the Revolutionary War a war between 2 countries? No, it was not. You all were British.
We're Englishmen.
And these ones decided to be loyal to the crown.
So it's a civil war.
It was a civil war. And these ones decided no taxation without
representation.
no. Huzzah! So the American colonists responded to the Sugar Act and Currency Act with protest. Huzzah!
Traitors! Traitors to the crown!
In Massachusetts,
They're traitors to the crown.
the British further angered American colonists with the Quartering Act, which required the colonies to provide barracks and supplies to British troops.
We love those redcoats.
And the Stamp Act taxed newspapers, almanacs, pamphlets, broadsides, legal documents, dice, playing cards, anything with paper.
Does that mean they taxed the one by Benjamin Franklin?
Yep, anything with paper at the time. But did you guys stand for that? Huzzah! Huzzah! Did you stand for it? The colonists responded to Parliament's acts with organized protest throughout the colonies. A secret network. It was a secret. Why was it a secret? Because so many people didn't approve of what you were doing, right?
Does anyone know what that network was?
Network.
Have you heard of them? Yes.
Yeah.
Who started that? Yes.
Quiet, just one.
All right, so at this time, the Stamp Act was repealed, but there came some new taxes, and many of those were also repealed, except for one very important tax. You know what that tax was? On tea. Now, as Englishmen, we were drinking on average 3 to 5 cups of tea per day. So is this quite Now, this was something that was very, very hard for the colonists to support. And so Samuel Adams called for a meeting in Boston at the Old South Meeting House on December 16, 1773. And at that meeting house, there was a debate. And the debate was, what are we going to do about this? Not only the tea, but there are 3 ships in our harbor. Okay, enough of that, please. So, I now need some volunteers that are willing and capable. I need 3 individuals who can read quite loudly.
I can.
Please stay on your side of the aisle, good sirs. Now I'm going to refer to you as sirs today because were any women able to be at this discussion this day?
No.
Unfortunately, no. So you're all good sirs. Here you are, kind sir. 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 Now, the rules of today's debate are very simple. If you hear something that you really like, we say, huzzah! If you hear something that you do not like, say, five. Okay? So, without further ado, let's start with a member of our Patriots. Who would like to come forward and speak first? Yes, kind sir. Please come forth.
My name is Dr. Joseph Warren.
Read kind of loud for us.
I am a physician. I'm 32 years old and a patriot. I grew up on a farm in Roxbury. I went to Harvard College and became a doctor. My patients are the poor as well as the rich. Many of you have listened to me protest against Parliament's taxes. You have read my articles that say what the king is doing to the colonies. Issue is not whether to pay taxes,
Both the groups and traitors.
but whether we will pay taxes and not dissent to.
Five.
Fries are good. The only way to let Parliament know that taxation without representation. Come on, people. I asked everybody here today to protest against it. Do not let that TV unload.
Now, how many of you have ever heard of Dr. Joseph Warren? Okay. What did Dr. Joseph Warren known for?
He was a doctor. He helped with the college work.
Yes, he did. Now, Dr. Joseph Warren very well may have been, according to some historians, our first president of the United States. He was that well loved. He was that outspoken. He was that powerful of an individual within the colonies. Unfortunately, he was killed at the Battle of Bunker Hill. But very staunch patriot. All right, now let's hear from one of our loyalists. Yes, kind sir, please step forward.
Kind sir.
I'm just going to say 5 before you. You say it's going to be wrong.
Okay, speak loudly.
My name is Isaac Winslow Clark. As I am 30 years old. As one of the 70 merchants in my life and the life of my family have come under attack. We have had our homes attacked with bricks and our windows are broken. Why should we suffer for being loyal to the king?
Huzzah! Why should she suffer?
It is unreasonable for you patriots to ask to send the tea back to England. It is our business, and why would surely result in our physical run. And I say patriots should stop these unruly mobs and abide by the
Huzzah! All right. One moment, please. So, did you happen to hear what was going on with Sir Isaac Winslow Clark? What was he saying? Okay, so he was a loyalist. Okay, he took a stand because his nephew and his uncle were among the consignees of the tea. So that's why if the tea wasn't unloaded, it was going to hurt his family, it was going to hurt his business, it was going to hurt many things that he had to do with financially. The Winslows were forced to flee Boston, and in July their mansion was burned to the ground. And in the end, they actually had to get on a ship with the British Army, and they sailed to Nova Scotia. All right, Patriots, who would be our next kind sir to speak today? Yes, sir, please step forward. And your name, sir? Oh, you don't have a sheet? All right, hop down. Those who have a sheet, I'm so sorry. If you have a sheet, please step forward. Drew, do you have one? All right, sir. And you are, sir? All right. All right, everyone pay attention. Let's hear what Mr. Otis has to say.
Hi, James Otis. We're 48 years old. I am a patron. My name is James Otis. I am a lawyer and I know the laws of England very well. I can't tell all you gentlemen that as Englishmen we have the right to have representation.
Huzzah!
Representation in Parliament. 5!
French fries.
I want French fries. French fries. Stamp Act was passed several years ago.
Listen to this part, everyone. Can you listen over here? Loyalists, thank you.
I protest that dreadful attacks and must repeat myself today.
5!
Taxation without representation is tyranny.
So, James Otis was a famous lawyer in colonial Massachusetts who argued that the writs of assistance or search warrants were a form of tyranny. John Adams said that the role of James Otis in contesting law and power of British was, quote, and this is a quote from John Adams, the spark in which originated the American Revolution and breathed into the nation the breath of life. So that's how important the writings of our kind sir James Otis were. Thank you, kind sir. All right, do we have a, yes, please step forward.
All right.
We have another loyalist to hear from today. Perhaps.
My name is Samuel Quincy. I'm 38 years old. I'm not friends with many of the Patriots. In fact, my brother Josh is an active Patriot. Right there. I studied law at Harvard College, and I believe the King's laws. We are all Englishmen. We have been loyal to the King, so I have our fathers and our fathers before them.
Stay loyal to the crown. Huzzah!
You Patriots complain about Mother England. I'm proud of her and everything she stands for.
Huzzah! Mother England!
I ask you Patriots, after hundreds of years, how you can you so easily turn your backs on the King, Parliament, and the great laws of England?
Samuel Quincy.
Vote for me.
Good job, you guys are enthusiastic. Samuel Quincy was an addresser of Governor Hutchinson and a staunch loyalist. His wife, the sister of Henry Hale, Esquire of Boston, was not pleased with her husband's course in the politics of the time, and he became a loyalist against her advice. And when he left Boston a refugee, she preferred to remain with her brother and never met her husband again. Wow.
Dun, dun.
Principle divides.
Dun, dun, dun,
In
dun.
1782, Samuel Quincy was proscribed and banished and his property confiscated.
All right, do we have a patriot who would step forward and offer us their thoughts?
Me.
That has a sheet of paper that hasn't read yet. We have one more.
Can I do it without a
Yes,
sheet of
please.
paper?
Will you help hold these nice and loud?
Nice and loud.